Okay, so I have not finished all the trials yet. I have one more to go, but I figured this would be a good one to actually put in the video because it's the enemy is called Painted Love, and it's the paintress and the curator together. So everything else was kind of like not nothing crazy. There were only a couple of fights that were interesting or had like new enemies. Some that were a little silly, like you could fight Francois at one point, and it was him with two other Nevrons. But otherwise, there wasn't anything really, nothing especially memorable as far as enemies went. I did end up filling out all of Minoko skills. So there's two new ones. The aberration I did. There were two fights with aberrations. Those ones were a little bit difficult because the aberrations, their attack pattern feels really kind of erratic, I guess. Like I couldn't get the timing down. And maybe once I go and fight the one that's just the aberration, it doesn't have anything else with it, because all of the fights had three enemies, so it was a little bit hard for anything that I wasn't familiar enough with to get their patterns and timing down. So maybe when I fight the one that's just by itself, I'll be able to figure it out. And there was this other one that was new called Creation. It looked like a stag, I think, with this bit of this black hole on its back. That one wasn't too bad. On its own, it would be a pretty easy boss. I think it had the lamp guy, and I think maybe a Clair Obscur with it. The fight itself wasn't that bad. I had to do it twice because I forgot to bring Minoko with me in that one. But by the second time I did it, it was like I got this. It didn't give me much trouble. The one fight that did give me a lot of trouble that I actually started getting mad at was had a chromatic chalier and a chromatic jar, and then some other Nevron that wasn't chromatic, but I forget what it was. So the non-chromatic Nevron wasn't really a problem, but the two chromatic ones were a pain. But one part of it is the jar. It has this like smash attack, and it does it really, really fast as soon as its turn goes. So almost always didn't die to. I almost always died to that attack because it has the smashing attack, which is where it raises its lantern or staff, and it moves around for a little bit before smashing it down. You get the jump prompt, but then it has a different attack where the wording is kind of similar, and it just smashes its staff on the ground immediately and does this big AoE attack. And then you have two jump evasions and then two regular like evade or dodges. And so that one, it took me a long time, honestly, to first understand the difference between the two smashing attacks and then get the timing down for that. This guy was the worst. He had some attack that was a 3-hit, and so the first hit you would jump to evade it, and the second hit he would target, or the first hit was a party-wide jump to evade. The second hit he targeted one person, and then third hit, I think you target a totally different person. But that second hit was really fast, and doing the jump and evade, for whatever reason, it was very, I think because you get that slowdown when you jump, and like as it's prompting you to do the counterattack. And so I couldn't really get a hang of the second attack, so I would always fail to that second attack. The only time I didn't was when I just decided to forego the counterattack and watch for the second one, and that was the only time I was able to evade the attack. But that was extremely frustrating fight. And I've noticed in the process of doing these fights, there are some issues with visibility, especially when you have really big enemies. Like if the, what is that guy? The one with two swords, the duelist. So if you had that guy among the three enemies, then the camera would zoom out a fair bit, and then that would kind of make it hard to see very well. So I struggled with any attacks that didn't have sound cues on them. And then also, I found that if Minoko is in the center or the rightmost side of the party, then he'll end up blocking off, because he's so wide, he'll end up blocking off visibility to the person that's to his immediate left. And so I think that didn't cause me too many issues, but it was definitely like, oh, as soon as I noticed it, like I had to lock in basically just for that one attack sequence, so I could make sure that I wasn't dying because I couldn't see because of Minoko being like that wide thing on his back. So it's not a gigantic issue because I think up until now I hadn't really noticed it, but it is something to consider. Because I know the developers are planning on making more games, and specifically more games in this universe. So I think if they were to make another style game like this where you have a party and it's turn-based, then keeping in mind the wideness of the party members and the visibility and how it might cut off visibility would be very important. And also maybe like adding in an option to decide where players or where party members stand within the party lineup once you're in battle. But yeah, other than that, I will leave this final one for later. And then I think I'm gonna switch out, because I have Lune, Verso, and Minoko in my party right now, but I think I'll switch out probably Verso for Mael. But for now, try and check other things. Oh yeah, and I'm now level 80 on all of them. I also ended up giving everybody the cheater Lumina. And for everyone it works really well. Ciel was the only one I had trouble with because I normally like to get her into her twilight phase pretty quickly. But if she goes right after another, then her final path. So if I use final path on her first turn, that means that she has no AP for her second turn. So then I have totally screwed myself because like now I can't use Sealed Fate, Phantom Blade, Grim Harvest. I can't use any of that. So it's not a big issue. I just have to remember to enter her Twilight phase in her first turn, and then her second turn set up for the big, like her second turn use Focus Foretell or Final Path, because then I can get, I can get AP increases through evading or counterattacking in between, or somebody else can go before her and I can use one of their turns to give her a energy tint, and then I have no problem with Phantom Blade or Sealed Fate. Oh, I didn't even notice that they actually drew on the monolith.
Flashing through the sky.
Another thing about having them go twice now, one, I ended up removing the play again on breaking a target, because any type of play again after using X ability or doing X thing does not work with Cheater. That includes gradient attacks. So to remove the play gun on breaking, I removed Minoko's Agile Mask ability, and I changed it with this Impale one, so it slows a target. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm underutilizing him. It's like there's so much interesting stuff, but he only has 6 slots, and I really like what I have now. Or I mostly like what I have now. Like Galt Fury, I could take or leave. I like Lampstorm because I like being able to get entire, like if there are 3 or 2 enemies, I like getting them all in one go. Since most of the party, I don't have party-wide attacks on them. This one is okay. I do use slow more and I like it. But I also have, like if I have Lune in the party, then I feel like it gets a little bit redundant because I have tried to use her to slow a little bit more often, like being more conscious of that. This one, I just didn't find a heavy mask that I preferred more, and one that is relatively expensive. I mean, I probably should look into this more, switch things out, but I think I struggle a lot with his AP, especially now that I have him going twice, one after another, because everyone else, they get the boost from his weapon. He does not get a boost from his weapon when using an upgraded ability. And the only other person I know who has an ability that could help him out in that way is CL, I think. Yeah, this one, well, it's just 1 AP, so it's not really super great. So I think if I were to take off the cheater Lumina on anyone, it would be him and CL, but everyone else, it's been working out pretty well for them. I struggle a little bit with keeping Verso's, like maintaining his AP, but for the most part, it's not that big a deal. Now I just need to check real quick what else I have to do aside from the floating mansion. You can check out. I'm gonna check out the workshops in Renoir's Drafts real quick.
Flashing through the sky. Hang on tight.
Oh, it can only be accessed from one. Okay. Okay, so this is no longer dangerous. That's good. And the workshop. Workshop is also no longer dangerous. Okay, well, great. Those were the last 2 areas that were considered dangerous. I did go finish this out, didn't I? Or maybe I didn't. So let's do this right now. Because this was also just changed to not being dangerous. So I guess maybe level 85 was the cutoff? What is that thing? Okay. Let's inverse Owen.
You're outmatched. Just try it.
I can see this taking some time. I actually kind of want to switch to Mael instead. So I'm gonna do that.
Spill some ink. Ready to parry. I'm ready. Prepare for annihilation. Let's spill some ink. Let's dance.
So yeah, I don't think this fight will be very difficult. It's just a matter of how long it's gonna take to actually kill it. I wouldn't mind if it showed something new, like the mimes have been the same this whole time. And I kind of feel like just burning down an enemy with lots of health but no different attack patterns is kind of boring.
Out of this canvas. Void take everything.
Max health is reduced to 1. Price is paid and reward served. Mime has conveyed his true art unreserved. I guess I have to complete it with everyone, maybe? Because I'm assuming, they all get bald hairstyles. Yeah, I'll try it out. Since I've been pretty good with dodging this guy, I'll just put the 1 on everybody. I can take this off for now. I don't think Void versus Physical is going to do much of a difference here. So yeah, let me try this out and see if I actually get a cosmetic for Verso, and then if I do, I'll go through with everybody.
Here we go. Just try it. Not impressed. My turn. Let's carve a path. Here we go. Break. Here we go. Ready to strike. Not impressed. Time to end this. You're outmatched. Your end is nigh. Not impressed. Let's have some fun. Ready to strike.
Okay, so it looks like everybody does get a hairstyle. So I'll get everyone through this, and then I suppose that's all there is in this area. I think one of my bigger disappointments is that a lot of Act 3 you don't get much story stuff from exploring. I don't know if like it's because I did all the story stuff already or there just wasn't enough in this act, but outside of the companion quests and that one map, with the like there were a couple maps that had good story stuff, but then it feels like everything else is just gauntlets basically. It's like all just fighting and the story is very sparse. Yeah, let me get his Pictos back on here if I can find it. And we'll do this with everyone else real fast. Okay, I guess that's it then. Let me switch out Minoko's Pictos before I forget. So yeah, that was an alright brain off sort of fight. I did manage to get I managed to get the timing for the hammer attack, and then for some reason at Minoko's, when I was doing Minoko, I just lost it. So I don't know what happened there. I definitely need to switch out the Obscure sword because I've always been feeling like I didn't like it, and I wasn't sure why. But it really does feel like it's not really doing as much damage. It does say that it does more damage against a powerless enemy, but I feel like the few times I've actually had powerless applied to an enemy and was able to use Obscure Sword, it still didn't really do a lot. Like it says it's supposed to do high single target dark damage, but every other ability, like all 4 of these, outdamaged it. And this is low single target damage, so I don't know if that's the way it's meant to be or if it's a bug, but I definitely need to switch this. Yeah, I think that's fine for now. Man, if I had known that that was all that was in this place, I probably would have done this way sooner, because there was nothing special about that biome. It was the same as every other one, so... Which I don't mean as a complaint, but... Like, oh man, I could have just checked this off way earlier if I had looked a little bit more. What do I do? What do I want to do? think I want to do all of the interesting story stuff all in one go, and then lead up to the final Renbar encounter with that. So going to deal with the chromatic neurons, then I can try doing Painted Love again, because I don't think Clea in her tower is going to give us a lot of new information, or a lot of like story related information, so I think finishing Painted Love is fine before tackling the Painted Clea and then Renoir's drafts, unless Painted Clea is giving me a lot of issues. Oh, and the painting workshop.
So, here I come.